Thanks for all the love and support on this series, and of course those who choose to join Patreon to help in keeping the channel going. It means the world to me. Feel free to join down below.
いくら加工しても食い切れんな。
I've winned this a few times before, but I always like how they go the extra mile in terms of showing them wrapping up the food and stuff like this. I had a feeling that not everyone was hunky-dory with her, unless she was like this beforehand.
なんだその姿は。お前には陛下捜索の任を授けたはず。
Instantly, the next proper arc of the storyline seems to be set in motion, and it's a great one. This guy is back, the one I mentioned at the end of the last video, and it impacts her as well. There's definitely more to this sword as well, which I love since it clearly was trying to warn him here.
まさかここから出て行ったのか。
Oh snap! That is way higher up than I thought it was! This story just casually getting better and better as it goes along like it's no big deal.
お前が今踏みつけている砂粒一つに全てはデルガル国王陛下その人の所有物。
Yep, exactly the case that it's just getting better. I knew he had to have a more important role after the stuff in the painting went down.
迷宮の主狂乱の魔術師
Even better is that this guy is the Lord of the Dungeon who we've been hearing about for a while now. They really are such a great team as they rush out to help him in time. Damn, son, she is strong. How is she so physically strong? It keeps getting better. Someone stop it. Good thing she knows her own strong type of old magic to combat this dude, otherwise they'd be screwed. What a great shot as she blasts it out of the air, dispelling it at the same time. Classic of him to have grabbed a couple already.
なすべきことをなせ。はい。
Brilliant twist, not much else to say. I really never saw this story playing out this way. It's almost like a bait and switch, really. It's incredible.
空洞だ。あそこから出られる。消えた。
Who would have seriously thought that the dead would end up playing such a huge role in this anime? One of the best reactions in ages.
我々は族長との約束を果たすために来た。
お前野菜売りか。
族長との約束とは。
Never been so happy for him to be a part of their team. Yes, he cooks insanely well, and he helped with the water spirit and everything else, but this was a really close one, and he nailed it. The most gross-looking finished product in all 3 videos.
臆病だが悪いやつではないのだ。
戦士、お前は来ないのかよ。
It's actually kind of sad to see things go down like this with him because they've come such a long way, but he has his reasons and they have their own. Shows how much they mean to us as a team too. The continued lore building as she reveals that the ghostly residents of this town are still very much sane and are only seen when they want to be, such as helping them earlier, I guess.
正直ゾッとした。こんな判断をする奴がこの先どうなるものか。
Bit long to show, but he makes a good argument here by essentially telling her that they've been lucky from one instance to the next. That's why he is struggling, likely wondering if it'll run out.
魔術師が現れたのはその後か。お前たちはどうやって生き延びたんだ。
攻撃をしのいでくれたんだ。
I like the whole retelling thing, and yet at the same time it doesn't annoy me like I'm seeing recap. It's just him explaining what his team did to survive, and yeah, I like it.
だから騙すのか。他にもっといいやり方がある。
Okay, with this, I got my thoughts in order. This whole trip with her was a way for him to vent and search for his real feelings, and as I said in the last win, I really like that.
まだ近くにいるはずだ。
落ち着けって。
Well, he got that right, that he'd immediately launch into trying to find his sister, which is only natural.
頼むライオス、ここは耐えて地上に戻ってくれ。
Him taking her advice and just being completely honest with him?
ハリンにはちゃんとうまいものを食わせてやりたい。町へ戻り物資を補給するべきだ。
Our boy Senshi backing him up in a very Senshi kind of way that is also quite wholesome too.
心配かけてすまなかった。一度引き返そう。
A lovely ending to a lovely episode that truly deserves one more for good measure. Well, that new OP was pure wholesome sauce as well. I think it was a lovely trip inside the mind of our main boy. Great song and some awesome visuals, just enough to score max wins even.
一度町へ引き返すことだな。水上で死んでいたら今頃魚の餌だ。
Getting to see both of these groups again, but also there being just enough evidence again that our team didn't do anything to them and is actually just helping them all the time.
食料がない。あいつらにまた盗まれたんだ。
飯。
Oops. I did forget about the food though. How is it that these people get saved and immediately land themselves straight into trouble again?
この霧は幻覚魔法。武器を抜いたまま戸惑っているのは黒だな。
Thank God he was smart enough to figure this out. That is awesome, but also can't believe it keeps happening to them.
魔術師の栄唱を平和的に止めさせるには。
What a cool way to stop the spell though.
一歩引いた場所からこちらを見ている。あいつ。
Very personal win, but I'll tell you what I really digged there was his eyes going hyper-focused. Just reminded me of Griffith from Berserk there.
上で出会った死体回収や。
この再会は偶然じゃなさそうだな。
Great twist that I hadn't seen coming. I figured they were being attacked by monsters, not by other humans.
冒険者同士の窃盗や交戦は重罪だ。島主に報告させてもらう。
It's a small piece of law, but I'm happy to hear about it all the same, learning that what they're doing is illegal. What a sick exchange there! Dude really is like Griffith when he goes onto the attack. I keep saying it, the anime makes you feel all warm sometimes, and then boom! Darkness everywhere! Wow, he even took out the last dude, yet he seems so nice. This group has really thrown me off. Their team gets a different song for their completed food. Basically, a big fat 1/4 of the entire episode there was spent on them both figuring out who the other party was, but also us finding out a lot about their backstories too.
けど、病気や怪我で迷宮に潜れなくなった仲間に稼ぎをほとんど渡してたんだ。
Two wins here. Firstly, the more I learn about the big man and his past, the more I like him. He's a really good, kind, and just dude, all in all. But also, it made me think, learning this, that there's so much more to them than first meets the eye. As in episode 1, they seem more like a ragtag group of misfits, when that is not the case at all.
クラーケン、いやシーサーペントか。リー、離れろ。
Kricker's commitment to not rely on CGI is so damn impressive during moments like this.
ちょっと失礼。
Dude, new characters entering the fray like it's absolutely no big deal whatsoever. That was totally sick too. I feel ill.
見事にございました。お召し物に汚れは。
Judith Ranster from the newest Trails games.
ひょっとして女性をお探しなのでは。
何か知っているのか。
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that they said he was in love with Laos' sister. A real nice and simple new ED there, very nice art done on the panels, and a good calming song, just the way I like them for the EDs.
言ったようだ。
That is funny, obviously, but it's also tense, knowing that the elf is now hounding their attempts to leave the dungeon, making them go in circles, and now there's a real lack of food and water.
食わせなければ若者には飯を食わせなければ
It is so lovely that he wants to feed them so badly.
ここは墓地か何かか
Another location in the dungeon that looks totally different to anything that has come before it.
いかん
Potentially attractive elves!
これは失敬
Or not, kawaii!
花粉症である
They made it sound like it was going to be something truly horrific and it ends up being this.
時遡る
やめろさらっとヤバそうな魔術を探すのは
What makes this an even better joke is him saying just after this that this is a joke from her. So she thinks it's kind of funny to do this, but maybe she's a little serious too.
あまり取りすぎてくれるな
わかった
How this is an ongoing theme in the anime, to take what you need.
マンドレーク生えてる犬を用意する暇はないから首切るけどいいよね
Him using an amazing callback there to something from like episode 3. He never gonna stop!
それだ
地鳴りの感覚と地図を記録してみよう
なんとかなるような気がしてきた
It's nice how just a good solid meal can suddenly turn them very hopeful and get their brains working on how to get back to the surface now.
だが治療や防御魔法を使えたら随分楽になるファリンから触りは教わってるんでしょ
Really getting great use out of this food.
つまり
人間にもおしべとめしべが
That is so damn good. He really does treat him like a child, but even I didn't see that coming.
呼吸を合わせて体温や脈拍馴染んだと思ったら私に続いて復唱して
How seriously the learning and casting of magic is taken in this story. It's so random, but my favourite part about this scene was her pushing him over first, instead of focusing on scratching her ear.
マルシルの教え方もわかりやすくてよかった
ありがとう
Ah, it was because he healed her ear, of course! Oddly very proud of him.
それで私は迷宮の一部を書き換えてこの肉体は迷宮の一部ということにした
Learning more about the actual magic that she used to bring her back, and in this explanation, it certainly seems less of a super dark forbidden magic and more of a clever use of magic instead. How they keep on animating all these monsters by hand. One of the best CGI first-person shots I've ever seen. Her mentally done best attempt at a scary roar.
マルシル
That was beautifully done, not only how she did it, but then the lettering falling away as she sets off an explosion. That was amazing.
よしこれでいつ石化しても大丈夫
石化しないための対処法じゃないんか
I love this anime. I really, really do. So long as they can turn her back into her usual form, of course, which I'm sure they will. But yeah, it's so wild and wonderful, I must say. The fact that the mangaka wrote into the story so many different but pretty logical ways to reverse the petrification. Easy win for how insanely close that was to it all being over for her pretty much if she broke into 1,000 pieces right there. Man, that had me nervous for a moment. Another nice dish.
一刻も早く地上に戻らなきゃいけない時に世話かけたな
This does remind the viewer of what they're actually trying to do, and to do fairly quickly no less. And yet, they just spent 4 days sadly in the process of healing her.
人を漬物石に使うな
That lovely warm ending turning up with her saying this, but they kept the soft glow from the window, the art style change, and the nice warm music anyway. Another different view of the city!
あの家竜を食べたところだな
チルチャックすごい
仕事なんで
Made me feel very warm inside, this did, because it was a nice reminder that all of them have a role to play at various times and they do them so well.
魔術師の目が来るぞ。
Very few anime ever make me not scared. I don't think I've ever been scared by an anime, sadly. I love horror movies, but certainly creeped out a little, and this is a good case of that. Way too long to risk showing, but I feel as though ever since using magic, he's starting to see the death more like his sister can. Plus, they're helpful sometimes, and her taking them through the wall.
経年劣化や細やかな傷まで再現してる。見た目じゃ判別つかないぞ。
Another thing I really enjoy in this one is how often the mangaka drops lore on us. For me, there's few things worse than huge lore dumps, but doing it bit by bit is a thing of beauty. Not personally my jam, but certainly still good looking.
これも幻覚。みんなにも見えてるこれ。
見えてる。
This happened so suddenly, I didn't even know how to process it.
知り合いだ。
Oh, it's this dude and his ladies.
これで会えるなんて嬉しいな。
What an awesome, funny way to greet someone.
いや、なんか随分大所帯だな。
ライオスさんですよね。
Even more, oh yeah, I forgot that they came along too.
こんなスケベあれが例のつてかよいい身分だな
He thinks they're all his lady friends.
それで彼女は。シュロ。
Real good job of showing how tired he was, and also how he likely hasn't been eating normally since he came back into the dungeon either, and now as a result, he falls finally.
モンスターうまい最高。
This made me laugh, probably a lot harder than they ever thought it would.
そこからどうやってその場を免れたんですか？
それはマルシル。仲間の魔術師が頑張ってくれたんだ。
That's something a lot of people might not think to add, where he says her name but then changes it to say the mage in our party, since obviously they don't know her by name.
妹さん食べたレッドドラゴン食ったんすか？うん。そもそも動く鎧って可食部あります？
It sounds so normal to us because we've been along for the ride this whole time, but when he starts to tell people, it really seems insane, to be honest.
そんな場所は大抵多くの根城だ。
ああ、多くなら心配いらない。
どんな味でした？
違う。
That was actually, for me, the best joke of all of the episodes to date. And so it has to score max wins. A proper nice looking Japanese meal. Also, take one here, it was far too long to show, but they did a nice job of detailing her master's backstory. It was quite nice.
黒魔術を使って魔物の血肉で女を蘇生した。
なぜそんなこと。
Again, the anime can feel so happy-go-lucky that you legit forget that not everyone sees the world the way they do. This is shown in eating monsters, yes, but also something like this.
ああするしかなかったんだ。分かってくれシロ。
Love how matter-of-fact he's being about this because he is absolutely correct. There was literally no other way to save his sister and of course the woman he loves. Ah, it's painful to know that she's so close by.
お探ししなくては。
But also take one more for that excellent ending where she's clearly now merged with the dragon, I'm guessing? Incredible.
そのまま死なせた方が彼女にとっても。
やめろ。言いたいことは分かったから。
I really cannot figure out his angle in all this, but here he seems like he helped out the situation oddly enough. I actually get his point after seeing this.
これまでのことを全部話した。
That killer reaction though.
何やっても手遅れだ。
Such a great plot twist that she has turned up now suddenly, and one of his lady crew got brutally taken out as well.
すごくかっこいい。
What is with this dude? That's the last thing I thought he'd think or say when faced with this sight. I don't even know what's best, Chilchuck holding back Marcel, or the fact that Senshi is still holding the food and has no facial expression regarding what's going down. Goodness me, right away the smile is ripped from my face as his second in command is just smashed into the ground and is gone, just like that.
いい加減にしろよ。あんたたちの大事な人を守るためなら何人犠牲にしようが構わないか。
To be honest, I'm on his side here. You can't see her taking out so many people and yet just try and make an argument that she's confused and please don't hurt her.
魔物は危険なものだ。クソケンスケ、やはり所詮は
Wow, didn't think the mangaka had planned to reference all of these moments in the future, but makes total sense to do so here with what's happening. That's brilliant timing and planning. Damn man, that was seriously shocking. In fact, I think it's enough to score max wins. I just never saw any of this going down like that. I'm so impressed, but also shocked.
立てるか。躊躇して悪かった。
I also didn't see that coming. Let's friggin' go! So much seriousness going down, and then they plant a banger of a joke like that in there. Ha ha! That was so good. Two wins. Firstly, that was some beautifully smooth animation goodness on that fleeing right there. And secondly, I like to think that a part of her returned mentally for a moment, so she decided to run away.
魔物逃げてったよ。もう大丈夫。
なぜ私を
Really glad these people can be brought back like this. Seeing them get taken out, it felt permanent. I guess that's one thing the anime nailed, was giving it weight, even whilst we know they can come back.
あのレッドドラゴンは明らかに何かを命令されて動いていた。そんなことができるのはこの迷宮を作った魔術師以外いない。
A very solid, I'm guessing, final arc for this first season of the show, I think. Yeah, I've decided, I like it, and I'm on board, baby.
少しは本気で物事を考えたらどう？いいか！俺たちは狂乱の魔術師を必ず打ち倒し、絶対にファリンを助け出す。
I love Leos. Dude is like a slightly similar character to Luffy from One Piece. He gives his all for his team, he's happy-go-lucky, but also can be very serious when needs be.
この島でできた初めての友達に舞い上がってたんだぞ、こっちは！
It's so weird, but oddly entertaining to watch these two get their emotions out and vent, finally, whilst fighting.
もっと早く話せばよかった。
いきなりプロポーズしたの怖くない？
I like this dude, but the fact that he popped a marriage question or whatever out onto her out of nowhere is hilarious and only made better by this whispered statement. Omelette o'clock!
今ここで殺すしか。いただきます。に入るためなら何でもする男。
すごくいい人。
I just straight up adored that little exchange there.
東方へ逃亡できるよう手配しよう。死ぬなよ。
Just felt like that needed a win for them putting the grudge behind them now, and him even going so far as to aid the party like this.
それじゃまた。
次を。
By the way, what's an insanely cool way of doing transportation magic?
ごめん。
なんとかなるよ。
Aww, he really is just such a nice guy.
古代ドワーフが作り出した坑道を利用したその地下水路はどこまでも広く長く。
Not only is the 6th floor, again, an entirely different looking area, but it's also got some lore to go alongside it. Tasty lore too.
エルフって1000年も生きるもんか？
大昔にはそんな記録もあったようだけど、今はせいぜい500年が限度かな。
How come the lore is just so damn good though?
目が見えない。聞こえるか？ちゃんとついてきてるか？
The weather effects are some of the best I've seen in years.
嘘！
It really is one thing after another in this anime.
明らかに偽物だし。
確かに。
そんなわけないでしょ！しっかりご覧なさいよ！
You know, the comedy is legitimately fantastic in this anime. I just had to say that. It's made me laugh so many times now, and it needed a win for that in general. Essentially, one full quarter near enough is devoted to the Shapeshifter segment. It's very good how they pick out the odd ones, including in some very clever ways too.
選手は一歩深いところを見据えてる。味とか栄養とか頭が上がらない。
One part of this segment I have to point out has to be the subtle differences between the clones. Like, I can tell which one is the real one, but they both do look very similar too. Potentially clone-created grub.
寒さに強く匂いや聴覚を頼りにする獣だ。
Even though he really struggled, in the end he basically seems to have the correct answer by putting into practice everything he knows about monsters, which is a heck of a lot. This pre-battle warm-up! This very weird and unexpected scene and the camera angle that decided to come along for the ride. And it ended up working, no less! See, now that is absolutely Konosuba levels of comedy to me. The massive build-up, the great intense music, and then her expressionless face blasting it away. That's amazing. Everyone had the feeling he was making it up as he went along, but no, he knows them very well and picked out weird things he noticed that have also been told to us along the way.
確かもらった食材の中に茶葉が。
米がいない。
The show is actually so good when it comes to pulling the rug out from under us at the strangest of times. They're sat there eating, and suddenly there's a mystery abound.
平和的に話し合おうじゃないか。
And that right there is a great bloody twist to end the episode on. See you in the final quarter video. Darth Weirdo, Fidji, Mal Liao, Mushwin, Nick Wyndham, The Elementator Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Minimasher, Marquez, Nozomi, Orkeeper, Order Botanisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brendan Greer, Brian Bayard, Cameron, Christopher Tarasa, Commander Cyrus, David Freerix, Devicool, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Guru, James Defoyer, Your Edvinson, Kevin Alston, Cumfroik, Miura Night Sky, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Robert Jackson, Ruby Rose, Sataki Ari, Zions 44, Sean, Starkip, Tiger Lily Warrior, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Arnador, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante's Soul, Dante's Face, Doug Lord Bloody Soul, Donald Newborn, Dragon Defender, Dragon Boy 1, Drake's Daughter, Iso, Francie, Furious Mo, Garrett Vermeesh, Henrik Jensen, Host Losritter, Israel Caldera, Jokerins, Jason Davies, John, Jaffa 6263, Kai Wolfspring, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevin 102, Knuckle Duster, Cody Niemeyer, Kai 158, Carl Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gagati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Luis Minito, Marvin, Mason Stelfer, Matthew Blancet, Michael Lewis, Miran Ardron, Modaviram, Mr. Firecool, Nathaniel Gigramosa, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, Nuvagown 1928, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Olive Wharf, Onyx Caliph, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Porgy, That's a Fish, Q-Flash, Chris Harris, Rimuru, Rodiz, Roll Tide Wes, Ryan DeViri, Sadaholic, Sakumi Aoram, Sarcastic Truth, Shadow Cleanser, Snowy, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Thrasher 340, Tomo Sandy, Vernon Hogan, Wacky Normal, Will Sass, Willyman.